for these sessions. But with you, your topic is just a placeholder. You get to talk about whatever, whenever you want to. I still remember our first conference, and I was wondering if we're going to have some hitters on there because at the end of the day, a lot of these Europeans didn't want to show up. So I said, look, we don't need, we got our own heroes. We got our own, he ain't got a cape on today. He got something else on today, but we got our own superheroes. We got Brother Lamar, who was already FIFA wallets. Like he was an OG, somebody who literally at these conferences where it might have been about 10 black folks and 8 of them was serving coffee. So, you know, it was literally a tough day and you was looking for somebody else. And good Brother Lamar always with a level of joy, bro. I think what you do is you bring joy to technology that's not often found anywhere in science. When people talk about it, they talk about math, they talk about the difficult classes. You literally bring joy open sourcely, like open to all of us to enjoy without any barriers. Thank you, praise God, hamdulillah for you, Brother Lamar. If I could kiss you on the eyeball, I'd kiss you on both. Now, just had to say that out loud.
Yeah, I love you, brother. Yeah. I love you. Yeah, I mean, I know you told me, and what is this, the fourth? This is the 4th annual, isn't it?
Fourth one, but we're going to go for 5 with your support. That's why we had to do it virtual. We want 5. We don't want to stop at 4. They had 4, and it was a super spreader and all that.
Right.
Look, we're going for 5, okay? We don't have the best and brightest minds in one spot, and it is all bad. We're going for 5, bro.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you holding up the flag, man. Like the fact that you have been able to connect the diaspora, not just the black folk in America, but you've brought people from the motherland, from the continent over into Washington, D.C. And that to me is a very powerful thing that you've been able to do, is by connecting the two places together by way of this technology that we all are here to talk about. So yeah, man, I appreciate it. And I just love what you do. Man, I respect you so much, brother. You don't understand. I know many times in the past you've called me a mentor, but I have watched you grow into this thing that you have. I'm watching and trying to take notes from you about how to build these types of efforts. You dig what I'm saying? So, no, man, I appreciate you.
You know it ain't nobody building like you, Little Lamar. You're so patient. Lamar, with some of the stuff they say suffering fools. Now, none of our people are fools. All our people are.
You crazy.
Sometimes, but what you have, your patience with us. I mean, in spite of us, that's hard. And you know, in this space, it's already hard just solving the problem. That without tech, to do that as a businessman or a businesswoman, okay, great. But to do this in a technology that is still in its infancy and to actually attract people instead of turning them off, making this so approachable and doing it in a way. And look, you got a family, you got the wife, kid, like you doing the full house, like. Yes, sir. Humbly.
Yeah, thank you, man.
For your kind. And look, we do a shout out to John. John Caranger couldn't be here, and John Caranger as a co-host, co-sponsor, co-conspirator, co-collaborator, definitely. And I love the connection. And we definitely, his project I think is super awesome. And we're gonna honor him tonight. I mean, you know, he's gonna get the award anyway.
Yeah,
I let that cat out of the bag with you, Lamar. You pulled it out. See, you pulled stuff out. You got like a super. You pull it out of us. Thank you. I just said I'm gonna hold it out, but you got on here and look. We're gonna give him a surprise. Humbly.
Yeah, this is good though. I love the title that you came up with. Right, you came up with the topic of Black survival in a post-COVID world, and I've been thinking about that subject for a while now, because of course, clearly. I wouldn't have this on without COVID, right? This oxygen that I am taking in right now is from a complication, or shall I say, is the residual effects of what had happened with me getting COVID. So, and I'm good now. I'm a lot better. This is just a little bit of oxygen. They just want to make sure that I'm because of COVID. it has made my approach and thought of what we need to do from a survival standpoint moving forward, because the world has changed dramatically. The fact that you and I can't hug each other right now because we are doing this virtually, right? I enjoy my Sinclair hug every year. I'm not going to lie to you. I enjoy running up to this joyful brother and hugging him because there's something about that touch, right? But the more and more our world moves towards us being divided and not being able to connect with one another, I believe that in that type of environment, we're going to need to connect with each other even more, because that's what's going to be key to our survival. Our survival as African Americans, or as Africans, I would say, on this planet has always been to be tribal. It's always been for us to have a village. It's always been for us to connect with one another as each other, right? And make each other equals on the same accord. And so when you have this disease that has, or this virus that has jumped in the middle of all of that and stopped a lot of our regular interactions, our regular hugging, our regular, right? That stuff is part of our survival, because that unity we need to have is part of our survival, because we can't lose that. Like now more than ever, because of this division that has happened, and now we're moving more into a virtual world, we have to connect more virtually. If we have to, they won't even let us get on the plane to go certain places, right? When you have plans to go back to Africa and you go back to Zimbabwe and all these things, they're going to maybe require you to have a vaccine that you don't want to take because you don't know what the heck's in it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to require you to have some type of pass, some type of vaccine passport or whatever. So now you can't even travel. You can't even go and see the rest of the diaspora. You can't even go to the Caribbean. You can't go to South America. You can't go to, right? You can't go to all of these places. To Europe, you can't go down to South Africa. You can't do these things because what has happened is this disease has gotten us into a frenzy of us separating ourselves from one another. And not only is what's so crazy is that the divisions that have happened with us because of the actual virus, we are winding up getting more divisions politically. We're getting more divisions socially. It's like this thing has put a wedge in between many people and has created these polar oppositions to one another. And in this society, we can't, as Black folk, we can't afford that. We cannot afford to have any more divisions amongst us. Period. We have to figure out a way to combine our resources, to combine our knowledge, to combine our ability to utilize technology to be able to forward and push us forward, man. And so when you brought up that thing, Black survival in a post-COVID world, it's like, man, you know how deep that topic was, my good brother? It's like Black survival has always been about being able to work together. It has, like, just go back through the annals of time. It has been about being able to work together. And the great thing about this technology is that it allows us to connect our wealth across borders without us having to be in the same physical location. It allows us, especially with something like a Bitcoin, that is a global technology. That last evening I had a Twitter space, and it was called, I called it Bitcoin Love, We Speak to the World, because I just wanted to speak to people from all over the world about how Bitcoin has affected them. In the United States, we tend to get in these echo chambers where, you know, Bitcoin is this one thing for us, and you got these toxic Bitcoin maximalists, and then you got these other Bitcoin maximalists that are, you know, only about Bitcoin and sell your house and your car and all this other stuff. But the truth is that this technology is affecting people all over the globe. I talked to guys from El Salvador who were talking about how cheap it has become for them to send remittance. My man said that he has sent at least $4,000 worth of remittances for a little bit of nothing. He was normally having to pay, you know, 5-10% to Western Union to do that. Now, because El Salvador has accepted Bitcoin as legal tender, he can get money from the United States they can just send direct Bitcoin to them and they can use it at the grocery store, right? I was talking to a gentleman from Nigeria. He was talking about how their country is trying to bring forth the CBDC, which is the central bank digital currencies, for everybody who don't know. So basically, they're taking their actual currency and trying to make it into a digital currency. And really, a lot of these countries are doing that so they can track it more, have more control over it, the whole nine. But when I was talking to this gentleman, he laughed still. He said the central bank still doesn't get it because in that country, they are debasing that currency wholeheartedly right now. Like the Naira is almost 500 to 1 to the dollar, right? Which is causing a lot of those young people to understand that they're not able to save their purchasing power. When every day your currency is getting cheaper against all the goods and services, you're not able to save. And if you can't save, it's hard for you to build wealth. And if it's hard for you to build wealth, it's hard for you to pass that wealth down to other generations. And so for those guys in Nigeria, when I was talking to him, like I said, he laughed. He said, this is not going to stop us from buying Bitcoin, right? Because in that country for him, it's more than just, oh, I'm just using this for me to just make a little money, right? For them, this is like, this is the only way I can save my time that I've worked hard for. That's a very powerful thing. And I think Brother Sinclair he saw that a lot earlier, right? Brother Sinclair has been in Zimbabwe doing this thing with farmers and everything for a very long time. This brother, I would say he might be the godfather of bringing Bitcoin to Africa outside of my sister in Botswana, right? Those
Ala Kanani and John Karanger. But I think what you're speaking to, though, is the connection and perspective, though, as African Americans. I think we have to do better. And if we're gonna have anybody, Lamar, you're so awesome at it. The connection can't be made by scam artists. Like literally one of the biggest issues that, and I know you see this when our brothers and sisters we were wanting them to get in. We were like, I can't wait more Black folks in it. But next thing you know, it was OneCoin and MMM, all these weird, tricky things. We need to have more interaction and engagement with each other with folks who really love first. And that's what I'm saying. Right. You put that first. And again, I love Black, but you love us all. I'm just saying you put the love first. And I think, mentoring and even teaching our brothers and sisters as African Americans, when we leave out the house, we need to have our stuff together and not be colonizers in Black faces. We got to literally be brothers and sisters. And if you're brothers and sisters, you act brotherly and sisterly.
That is real. And you're exactly right. It's like we have to, because here's the thing, the scam artists don't even understand what they're doing. They're out here just trying to get more Naira. They're out here trying to get more dollars, not understanding that around the entire globe, governments are killing currency, not just in Nigeria. It's happening in the United States. I tell people all the time, I'm like, when I was young, I remember you could get a tomato, go in there and grab one tomato, and it's like 15 cents. And I'm not even that old. Now the tomato's $1.59. And here's what's so funny. They trick you and tell you that the organic tomato is more. But if you think about it, if you grow a tomato, it's organic. What are you talking about? Like, I understand the pesticides and don't come for me, vegans. All y'all special vegans out there. Don't come for me. But you understand what I'm saying. The fact that this seed I planted in ground 20 years ago cost me 15 cents when it grew to a fruit. Now it's $1.59. Lets you know that it's not the tomato because the seed didn't change. It's the same tomato. The only thing that changed was the money. And the fact that let me explain something. In a world of inflation, those that are wage earners are the ones that are at the chagrin. What's the word I'm looking for? They are the ones that are, it's a detriment to them because as they trade more of their time for money, their money becomes worth less.
The time.
And what happened? Yeah, exactly. So if their money is worth less, then that means their time that they put into it, they have to work more time. And you wonder why our ancestors, even though we may have been poor, right? We may have not had as much. My granddaddy went out and my grandmother was able to stay at home. right? Like, think about that. She was able to hold her whole house down with 6 kids in that bad boy, right? Because the money, you see what I'm saying?
Lamar, we coming towards the end, not end. We got a little bit more time, but I wanted to get in, and this, and some folks gonna probably think I'm disrespectful with this because they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is a Black Blockchain Summit," but because it is Black Blockchain Summit, we're gonna bring up farming because agriculture is fundamental to life. So we ain't gonna get too spooky with this. Could you please talk to us? Because the reason I'm saying talk to us, the fact that you're so sincerely a maker in the digital open source space and blockchain, like this is not a hustle. This is like what you do, you create, okay? And also being in the agriculture space. Now, again, I'm only saying it in the sense of I've done this abroad in Zimbabwe and Dominican Republic. I haven't done it in the States. You've been doing some stuff in the States. Some of it's experimental, meaning like you're going through the phase that everything goes through. Could you please maybe make a link to that? Because I think that's empowering. So it's not one dimensional. People think that we're just one dimensional, but you got about 18 hats. I like the red, black, and green hat, though. I like that red, black, and green.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Humbly.
This is the Black Bitcoin Billionaire hat designed by Toshi Tino.
Go ahead. Shout out to Toshi Tino. Love it.
So no, but we are so also for me, okay, so getting to that. For me, sovereign money requires sovereignty. Not just you having money that you control. You also need to get to the point where you can begin to control your food source. You can begin to control your energy source. You can begin to control your water resource. Because the thing is that as we move forward into a world of sovereignty and where we move into a space where we own our money, if you don't own your food source, if you don't own your energy source, then you're just gonna be giving your sovereign money to somebody who does. That's one of the goals of Black Bitcoin Billionaire. We say it all the time. Like, generational wealth is something that we focus on, but sovereignty is the goal. Because the truth is we want to get to a point to where we are not dependent upon anyone for anything. See, all of this, the thing is that all of this specialization and all of that has given us some pretty good technical things, like us being able to talk right now, right? Us being able to have these phones. All of this stuff has come through the annals of time for us to get to this point to where we have this technology through specialization. But now I feel like we're in a point right now where we're hitting a wall on a lot of these technologies. Look at your iPhone. The only reason why you pay whoever's paying it, another $800-900 is because they add another camera to it. Nothing else changed on your iPhone. You understand what I'm saying? So technology is plateauing for a lot of these things because we are in a world of abundance at this moment. So if we're in a world of abundance, now we need to figure out how to take that abundance and become more independent. And that independence requires us to start gaining other skills that takes us back to a time before all of the iPhones and everything. And those people who wind up getting those skills, because I'm telling you right now, a lot of the jobs and things that we as African Americans in this country have, they're going to go the way of the robot. They're going to go the way of automation. And so if that happens, right, you don't want to be on the outside looking in. You want to be in a field where there's either, listen, here's what's so funny, in a field where there's either software or in a field where there's food, right? Because you want to be able to get yourself out of a situation of being dependent upon an entity that doesn't even need you anymore. See, that's the thing that we are running ourselves into by not making sure we go back to those hard skills, the skills that Booker T. Washington was trying to give everybody.
All right. Cast your bucket down.
That's the thing. Like, we got to go back to those types of skills, because those types of skills in a world of division are going to make us more independent and a lot more powerful and allow us to survive, because those skills allow us to go and build community with one another that are self-sovereign and that are completely independent. So, yeah, man, I know I got about 2 more minutes. I didn't even know if I was gonna be able to fill this whole block, excuse me. So me being able to
take your time.
Me being able to even get that out, man. I appreciate you, brother Sinclair, man. And I can't wait till we get back together where I can give you a big old hug, man. I enjoy you, your wife. Like I enjoy I hate that I'm not in DC right now. Like I really, really wanted to be in DC, man.
Bro, let me say one more time though, bro. When we got on the phone, listen, we were battling the conversation about Howard, and Howard had just and Howard's been good to us. So shout out to Howard University, Dr. Todd Shern, Dr. Harris, rest in peace. And they had shut down some of their freshman orientation. We didn't even get Howard University booked. That's why we had TBA for so long until the beginning of August. And this is all, you know how it is, putting the event together, putting stuff together, and running your startup. Like we started hearing people being sick, bruh. Like you too important. Like, man, you better keep your black behind in Kentucky. Like if I see you in DC, bro, look, like on everything, like
it's on
man,
site.
Bruh, that right. Like we gotta get to the 5 years. Like we gotta celebrate, and we gotta make deliberate decisions now to make those things deliberately happen later. So
yes,
I'm just
sir.
doing my best, you know, to be a.
I appreciate your leadership, brother. No, your leadership.
No, this is fellowship. If your leaders are out there, you know they're gladiators and they'll slay any dragon, or bear, or lion. You guys tell David, look, David, we'll be right here. You go ahead and stay where you are. We'll chill out. It's okay. That's what we got to do. That's fellowship. A lot of folks want to be leaders. Look, this is good. I mean, I told you, I'm good fellowship, bro.
I appreciate it, Brother Sinclair, man. But yeah, I appreciate your leadership and you keeping this thing going. I think it is very important to be intentional about Black faces in these types of places. And I think that you've always been intentional about that. Since the day I met you, I always tell the story of me seeing you with being as Pan-African as anybody could ever be at a Bitcoin conference. And I just was like, man, this brother is making me smile. You made me smile from ear to ear the whole rest of the day, man. And I appreciate you, man, for just being uniquely and humbly who you are, bro. So yeah, man, thank you for having me again. Hopefully we served it well on this virtual call.
Right.
And
you know you're a hitter. You're always a hitter, bro. Always a hitter. And thank you, bro. Lamar, man, you put us on your back that first year, bro. We had look, you know, this year we put, you know, Erica Alexander, because we're so grateful. This is Deirdre McIntyre hooked us up. But bro, Lamar, we had you on every flight, and Lamar Wilson and Big Lamar. Like, bro, we had you. Look, you see the system. We was gonna put a wig on. You listen, we had you rocking. Everything was like, what are you talking about? You know, what was it? Kawanda? What was the? Tell me this. Oh, we gotta go. Golly, I was about to just reminisce.
But yeah, listen. But yeah, thank you, man. I know y'all got another one coming up, but thank you. And thank your staff and everybody who's working there, man. Y'all keep it going. I can't wait till next year, brother. And I definitely will talk to you sometime soon. We always talking. But yeah, man. See you later, man.
Thank you.